how do you actually go from an average performance of verbal reasoning towards the 90th or the 99th percentile, especially as a non-native speaker? This is what I'm going to talk about in this video. So we're going to talk about 4 things. Number 1, it's comprehension. If you're reading the English language, if you're reading words, and you struggle to parse the text and understand almost immediately what is being said, that is a big problem that you have to fix. If you don't fix it, you're going to be stuck in the average range. You're not even going to cross the average score. The second phase is a problem of context. Now, I do know that in these questions that you answer on the GMAT, the GRE, or the LSAT, they do say that you don't need prior knowledge to answer the question, which is true, but it's a little bit misleading because you have to be familiar with the context that they ask. So they do talk about law, humanities, history, science, for example, quantum theory, photosynthesis, migration, a lot of themes that if you were someone who was an avid reader, would be able to understand almost immediately. So if you don't have that familiarity with the context, if you don't have some cultural reference, you're really going to struggle to understand the text. And you're sometimes going to struggle to make some logical conclusions. So that is something that you also have to fix through a lot of readings. Now you can read The Economist, the Financial Times, read some books, but it's not enough. You have to focus on questions that are more geared towards those kinds of exams, questions that are standardized. Now the third thing that you have to really be good at to improve your score are frameworks and structures. So premise, conclusion, cause, effect, and outcome. If there's a situation, what is the hypothesis? And so ideas that are related to the principles of verbal reasoning. So these are the first 3, okay? Comprehension, context, frameworks, and structure. And then once you've improved those areas, you will begin to see more consistency in your verbal score. And the more consistent your performance and your behavior in verbal reading tests, the higher your score is going to be. Now, when we talk about consistency, I mean, how do you address doubt? Because on any exam, maybe half the questions are going to be relatively straightforward. Your intuition is going to be enough to answer those questions. But beyond that phase, intuition is no longer enough, and you have to become more deliberate and more methodical in how you address doubt. And what you need to do is develop explicit verbal reasoning steps based on sound verbal reasoning principles to be sure, more often than not, when the correct answer is correct and the incorrect answers are incorrect. And remember, in the verbal reasoning, the answer choice that is correct is 100% correct, and the answer choices that are incorrect are 100% incorrect. And your job when you study is to figure out why. And whatever path or process that you develop, to be sure, that is the code or the program that you have to take and use on the day of the test. And when you do that, your verbal reasoning score is going to shoot up.